Well, sadly to say, shortly after Dr. King was assassinated. When he was assassinated, it left a dream in peril from what our civil rights and economic justice were going to be. That dream of eradication came under Jesse Jackson in 1968. He took it upon himself and formed the Detroit Rainbow Coalition, the National Rainbow Coalition, actually. And at that time, he held the first Black Expo in the country in 1969 in the city of Chicago. It attracted thousands of people to the city, both diplomats, stakeholders, all people who were interested in economic parity, and also an opportunity to participate in procurement opportunities where African Americans and minorities could really have a chance to play in the game of economic development. At that time, that expo grew from the city of Chicago and spread all across the country. All across where you see now the Indiana Black Expo, the New York Black Expo, Missouri, LA, Los Angeles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We have people who are here actually from the largest expo in the country, so we can welcome them. They attract over 300,000 people a year to that expo. So it is an actual model for which we've been able to culminate our experience here in the city of Detroit. Now, how it came to Detroit, we had some leadership here. The Michigan Southern Christian Leadership Council, our leader, you all had a chance to meet this weekend, Michael Grace. His organization was one of the founding organizations of the Detroit Black Expo, along with our dear paper, the Michigan Chronicle, who teamed up to bring together African American businesses in a city whose demographics were changing at that time. Our experiences were changing at that time. We were reaching political height at that time, where we had our first African American mayor of the city of Detroit, Coleman Young. So his actual family member, who is kind of ill now, who led that organization, Dr. Young, Claude Young, you all probably know him well, led the Michigan SCLC for many, many, many years. And they helped in their economic position to bring about the Detroit Black Expo. So we're here today. We purchased the company back in 2004. The organization had been around at Kobo every single year. You probably remember big hair shows, things of that nature, the retail fashion explosion. They brought different artists like Kid and Play down to the Kobo Convention Center. And it was a wonderful experience for the city of Detroit. As you know, we go through economic situations here, and the company actually filed for bankruptcy. And we purchased the company out of that bankruptcy in 2004. It was $20,000 in debt. We changed it from a for-profit emphasis to a non-profit emphasis. Why that was critical is because how we give as a people and our mentality in bringing folks together around something that should really be first on our mind, that's economic justice. If you all attended the town hall meeting with George Frazier, he hit a home run. Economics should be number one on our minds. It should be the discussion at our dinner table, at our breakfast table with our children and our siblings, etc. But what you see today really is a dream of leadership and standing on tall shoulders, and folks who fought to get us here where we are today. We must gain our economic position in society. We must truly become successful business owners who not only compete just locally, but nationally and globally. There's opportunities that we can't even imagine here as a community, as entrepreneurs. And it's hard. Detroit has been hit by the worst depression and recession in the rest of the world. No one has experienced what we have experienced here. But guess what? There is light at the end of the tunnel. And if you have faith and you believe, you can connect, and within your own network, you can create a net worth. And we truly believe that. So give yourself a round of applause. And I don't like to sell people seashells. Entrepreneurship isn't for everyone. It's everyday work. Now, when we formed this company as a nonprofit in 2004, our emphasis was purely to bring people together, to showcase, highlight, and promote African American businesses. Within that 4-year time frame, we've been able to culminate a database of over 7,900 African American businesses. And that's due to technology, embracing technology, and those are actually members of our organization. Our database has grown tremendously, where our reach and tentacles are spread all across the world. We became a part of a national coalition of Black Expos, where all the heads of the Black Expos across the country, we actually meet every single year to talk about how can we make this event impactful. So there's serious discussions going on, and today you probably see a name in which you will hear a lot about. It's the Michigan Black Chamber of Commerce. The first stage was the Black Expo. That was to database and mobilize and collectively bring our businesses together. Because divided, we are conquered. Our goal was to make sure that we could industrialize outside of the automotive industry in partnership with the automotive industry, and have industry base where we can locate every single African American business in the state of Michigan. So now we've been working for the last 2 years, and I'm happy to announce that Miller Canfield, one of the largest law firms in the country, has taken on the challenge of bringing forth the Michigan Black Chamber of Commerce, which will be our first African American statewide Chamber of Commerce. You had an opportunity to hear from Dr. William Brooks, who's the president of the African American Business Alliance, W.R. Ross, who's the president of Booker T. Washington Association, all of our business elite, all of our top Cranes Detroit Business 100 African American businesses have all embraced the idea, and we will form chambers in every single city of the state of Michigan. Detroit, Southfield, Benton Harbor, Lansing, Grand Rapids, all across the state of Michigan. Now you will have your own Chamber of Commerce that will provide the wants and needs of the community. We have to get to business. We have to be able to take care of ourselves. Like George Fraser said, God is not going to give us anything else until we learn how to handle what we already have. And so as a community, our goal is to provide health care, dental benefits. Wherever you go in the country, you can be connected with a card, a membership card, that will allow you to travel not just through the state, but through the entire country. We want to be able to advocate for policy. Advocate for policy that benefits minorities and African American businesses. We want to make sure that our people who are in corporate America, who actually believe in us, the companies that you see here today, who have taken the time and their money and their contribution, that leadership is in place. But also there's economic parity. That if an example, if there's a bank and we spend $225 million with that bank, that at least 1 to 10% of that should be reinvested back in the community. If not reinvested back in the community, we should see it in your employment or your executive staff. Because those are the people who are our community advocates internally. And it's a mutually beneficial relationship. We want to see Detroit participate in the world economy. We are an international destination with an international border, that we have not realized our true economic dreams. We do not have an economic framework, platform, and structure. So now is the time. So get excited. This weekend was a tough weekend, not only for myself as a leader, because we have to find ways to engage the community around economic empowerment and economic parity and justice. That is our goal. It's time to get from A to Z with the least amount of gray hair and stress. Let's get folks and turn their contacts into contracts. It's time to connect people and bring them into their own existence to where they're providing for themselves and generational wealth for their families. That's the goal. That's it. So give yourself a round